सत्सङ्गत्वे निस्सङ्गत्वं निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे।
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे परम्परा। नारायणः परो व्यक्तादण्डमव्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्तु मे लोकाः सन्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी। क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत। यत्र क्षेत्रज्ञयो ज्ञानं यत्र ज्ञातं मतं मम. So that second shloka of this chapter, which is teaching the difference of the Jiva and Brahman. The Bhashya is very, very involving, and we have come to the close of the Bhashyam, lengthy Bhashyam. So here he is concluding this discussion. Anta avidyaya cha adhyaropitatve karmi avidyat karman kartavyanyeva cham iti praptam. So what is the conclusion now of this? Atmani kriyakaraka phalatmataya. Here it doesn't have the blemishes like action, practice of action. But then when a person engages in action, he is deluded into thinking that action is there in him. That is, actors of the action are also in his disposal, and so he is someone who is a doer. So that is a superimposition. So that's what is stated here. Because in the foregoing, the discussion has shown that avidya itself is not for the Atman; it is only in the Anatman. Avidya is actually the observed, it is not the observer. So avidya is anatman. So all the products of avidya also will be in the anatma domain only. It will not be in the action, the fruit of action. It is not in the atman. That is the idea here. So since it is not in the atman, naturally, by nature, avidya cha adhyaropitatve, they are all superimposed by avidya on the atman. A person who is ignorant is deluded into thinking that these are all in him, avidya is in him, the products of avidya are also in him only, or he is connected with them. So that kind of actions which are already in the Veda, they are all addressed actions enjoined by the Veda. And of course, the actions in the worldly actions, they are all avidyat kartavyanyeva. That is, only an ignorant will be the candidate for doing such actions. Now, Vitusham, the knower, that is the jnani, atmajnani, he will know very well that these are all not in the Atman, and he is not connected with these things at all. And the Veda, even when it enjoins karma, he is not the candidate, but only the ignorant ones are candidate. So the Jnani is not the one who is to perform an action at all. So he is free from all actions. Satyam evam praptam etadeva cha nahi dehavrita shakyam ityatra dashishyamaha. So this, the conclusion of this discussion is also echoed in the 18th chapter shloka. Nahi dehavrita shakyam. So what Bhagavad Gita has concluded by this long discussion has been articulated by the Lord also in the 18th chapter. Nahi dehavrita shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshataha. That is, dehavrita means a person who is having deha abhimana. So dehavrit is the one who is holding the body, or one who has taken upon the body. But here in this case, even the jnani, till the body falls, he will be associated with the body from the worldly point of view. But then here, dehavrit is the person who has got abhimana in the body, that I am the body. For such a person, karma can never be given up completely. That is the idea of the shloka. So what that teaches is all those who have dehabhimana, they will be in the domain of action only, and they will have to obey the injunctions of the Veda and perform those actions which are all ordained or enjoined to their varna and ashrama, and in the spirit of karma yoga, and then obtain chitta shuddhi, and then get the Vedantic knowledge, and then get liberated. So that is the path given by the Veda. So the Veda doesn't impose karma on anyone. It knows Atman doesn't have karma at all. But then the one who thinks that he is the body, for him karma has to be enjoined, and for him karma is the means for getting chitta shuddhi and rising up the ladder of spiritual journey. So here, Deha Prita Shakyam. So this is the meaning of the shloka. Ityatra darshayishyamaha. Sarvashastrartha upasamhara prakaraneccha samaseneva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya para. This is also from the 18th chapter, where Bhagavad Gita says this shloka is the one which is declaring the conclusion of this whole Gita Shastra. There is a Vedanta Shastra. Sarvashastra upasamhara prakaraneccha samaseneva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya para. So there is in a concise way, the jnana nishtha is being taught here. Ityatra visheshataha darshayishyamaha. So Bhagavad Gita here, in the previous shloka, that is in the previous cited shloka, the Nahi Deha Vritta Shakyam, he says, we will be showing that when we come to the 18th chapter. And for this shloka also, he is saying, in this 18th chapter also, we will be very especially demonstrating that in that 18.50. What is going to be demonstrated there? That karma is only for the ajnani, and Atma doesn't have any of this karma or the products of karma and the cause of karma, that is the avidya and all that. Atma doesn't have, and naturally the person who has realized himself to be the Atma, he will not be a candidate for performing any karma at all. So the Gita Shastra the whole of Gita Shastra is actually Karma Yoga Shastra, we can say, because in the end also, Bhagavan says, after having taught the whole of the Gita, including moksha and all that, he tells Arjuna, having heard all this, you have to decide what you have to do. So, yathechasi tatha kuru. So that is the instruction he gives him. So it is actually Karma Yoga Pradhana Shastram. It is Moksha Shastram, no doubt, for which Karma Yoga has been taught to be a very, 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 very essential means to attain the Moksha Jnana. Naturally, nobody should conclude that karma is the means for Jnanam. No, karma is not the direct means for Jnanam. Shravana, Manana, Nidityasanam alone is, but karma is the one which prepares a person to undertake Shravana, Manana and all that. So that's the sequence. So first Vihita karma, then Chitta Shuddhi, then Shravanadikam, and then through Nidityasanam, Aparoksha Jnanam, and through that liberation. So this is the sequence. Alam iha bahu prapanchanena iti upasamhriyate. So now we have already built upon this topic at very great length, and so we put a stop to it. That's what it is. Upasamhriyate. Now the next shloka is being introduced by Bhagavad Gita this way. Idam shariram ityadi shlokopadishtasya kshetradhyayarthasya sangraha shlokaha ayam upanyasyate tat kshetram yacha ityadi vyachikhyasi tasya hi arthasya sangraha upanyasaha nyayaha iti. So there is a nyaya, there is a rule that is being stated, that is whatever is intended to be spoken of at length, that has to be stated in a concise manner at the beginning. So Sangraha Vakyam and Vistara Vakyam. Sangraha is the concise way of putting it, and Vistara Vakya is the very elaboration of that Sangraha Vakya. So that is a rule, there is a method followed in the Shastras always, everywhere. Even in the Veda also, this kind of a method will be followed. For example, that in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we get a very good very good example of this rule. The Upanishad begins by saying Brahmavit, that's the Brahmananda Valley. It begins by saying Brahmavidapnoti param tedeshabhyukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma. So in a very concise way. Bhagavad Gita also names that vakyam to be a concise vakyam, Sutra Prime, he says, and for which the Vyakyanam or the Bhashyam, the Upanishad itself does in the sequence. So in the same way here also Bhagavad Gita is reminding us of that rule, and he also points out that Gita Shastram also follows that rule. So idam shariram is the first shloka of this chapter. Idam shariram ityadi shloka upadishtasya kshetradhyaya arthasya. So Bhagavad Gita himself has named this chapter kshetradhyaya. Kshetradhyaya arthasya sangraha shlokaha. So the upadesha of the Vedanta Upadesha has been very concisely stated in the first shloka itself. So the Kshetradhyaya Artha has been stated in the first shloka, Sangraha shlokaha ayam upanyasate. So there itself it has been stated in Sangraha way, but now in the next shloka Bhagavad Gita says that this also is a kind of a Sangraha shloka which will be elaborated in the sequel. Sangraha shlokaha ayam upanyasate. Tat kshetram yacha ityadi. So this shloka is a Sangraha shloka ityadi. Vyachikyasitasya hi arthasya. So now he is stating that rule. Vyachikyasitasya hi arthasya. That is Vyachikyasitaha. That word will be first broken down into its mula word. Vyachikyasisha. So Vyakyatum icha Vyachikyasisha. Tasya. So Vyachikyasitasya arthasya tasyaha. That artha is the pulinga, so that way this becomes a pulinga. Vyachikyasitasya arthasya sangrahopannyasaha nyayaha iti. So that shloka, now we can read the shloka. Tat kshetram yacha yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat shatayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrono. Bhagavan says, addressing Arjuna, tat kshetram yacha yadrikcha. Now I am going to tell you in a concise manner what that kshetram is and what that kshetrajna is. Who that kshetrajna is and what that kshetram is. Yadrikcha. So what all it is made up of, what are its components and all that are going to be stated here. Sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrono. So what is its wide reach or its range, all that is going to be stated by me in a very concise way. Make sure also he said that you hear all this from me. Yate nirdishtam idam shariram iti tate tachabdena paramrishati. So tat kshetram, that word tat refers to idam shariram, that is the shariram which has been stated in the first shloka as kshetra. Yate nirdishtam idam shariram iti tate tachabdena paramrishati. Yacha idam nirdishtam kshetram tate yadrisham swakiyehi dharmaihi. So that kshetram, what are its components or what are its properties? So that is being stated, that is going to be stated in the sequence. Cha shabdaha sanchayartaha. That kshetram yatacha, that cha will be joining two items here. Then yadvikari yaha vikaraha yasya tate yadvikari. That is, this kshetram is a vikara. Vikara is a transformation of something. That something also will be stated here. So yadvikari yasya tate yadvikara vikari tate yasmat yadaha yasmat yate karya padyate iti vakyasheshaha. So that is, the vikara is actually the transformation, it is the effect, whereas the vikari is the cause. So the cause is the clay and the effect is the pot. So the pot is being stated, and also the cause of the pot, that is the clay, also is being stated. So here the kshetram is going to be stated, and the cause of that kshetram also will be stated in the sequel. Sachayaha kshetrajnaha nirdishtaha saha yat prabhavaha. So sachayo yat prabhavasya. Now he is coming to sa. So now it's a very small grammar interesting thing here. In the first line, tat kshetram. Kshetram is actually napumsakalinga. So it has been stated as tat. Then he mentioned the word kshetram also in that shloka, in that line. But then coming to the second line, it is going to talk about indicate about the kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is pulika. So he is saying such a yat prabhavasya. So one is sa has been stated, but kshetrajna word is not here. But we have to supply that word, inferring that since Kshetram has been covered in the first line, Kshetrajna is going to be covered in the second line. So there is an inference here. That is why in the Shastram also, for a person to take up a study here in the Vedanta, some amount of knowledge of Nyaya, logic is required. Without that, it's very, very impossible. So these are all very basic things. But then, even in life, that is why Kanadam Pakshastropakarakam, that's a very famous statement. Kanadam is that Vaisheshika thing, that is Nyaya and Vaisheshika. Then Paniniyam is Vyakarna. So these two Shastras are extremely useful in learning other Shastras. They're all there everywhere. So we cannot do away with them at all. They're extremely essential. So here, such a cha shabdah yadvikariha sacha yaha kshetrajnaha nirdishtaha saha yat prabhavaha. So the kshetrajna which was indicated in the first sloka, that kshetrajna also is going to be elaborately stated in the sequence. First, it will be stated in a concise manner and then elaborated. So, saha yat prabhavaha, ye prabhavaha utpadiku Shaktayaha yasya saha yat prabhavasya. So the range and the reach of the kshetrajna also will be stated. Tate kshetrajnayoho yathatmyam yatha visheshitam samasena sankhepena me mama vakyataha shruno shrutva avdharya ityarthaha. So that the samasena sankhepena me mama vakyataha shruno. So the concise way of mentioning the kshetra and kshetrajna is going to be stated by me, and that you have to listen to carefully. Tat kshetra kshetrajna yathatmyam vivakshitam stauti shrotra buddhi prarochanartham. Since he said you shruno, that is you have to pay attention to what I am saying. Now in the next sloka, Bhagavan is praising this knowledge, this great knowledge about the pertaining to the kshetra and the kshetrajna, so that Arjuna will really pay attention to this. Because since he has said that you pay attention, now Arjuna has to be given some kind of enthusiastic statements like props or some attractive motivation that why have you to pay attention to what I am going to say? Because what I'm going to see is extremely exalted, it's extremely valuable, it is extremely venerated in the Shastra, in this discourse of spirituality. So that he is stating here, Rishibir Bahuda Gitam Chandobir Vividai Pritake Brahmasutra Padeshchaiva Hetumadbir Vinishitaihi. So this Atma Tattvam, which is also concerning the Anatma Tattvam also, because when we say Brahma Jignasa, Atato Brahma Jignasa, the Brahma Sutras, the very first sutra is Brahma Jignasa. It starts by saying that now the inquiry pertaining to Brahman will be taken up. But then the whole of the Brahma Sutras, 555 in number, they will be dealing with Abrahman also. So that is the idea. In the same way, in the Purva Mimamsa Shastram also, Athato Dharma Jignasa it starts, but it will deal with Adharma also, because Adharma also has to be known so that it has to be given up, or in order to refrain from that. In the same way here also, Abrahman also has to be known so that it has to be rejected, or it has to be given up. Like, for example, in the Atma Tattvam, the Panchakoshas are being spoken of with so much elaboration, so that even though it is Anatma, since our identification with the Panchakoshas is so much, that the Shastra has to elaborately state what those Panchakoshas are and how they are distinct from Atman, how they are not the Atman, so that we can give them up. So here also, in the same way, the Kshetrajna and Kshetram both will be spoken of here. Rishibir Bahuda Gitam, the Rishis have spoken of them in a very elaborate way. This Tattvam, Atma Tattvam, that is, which includes the Anatma Tattvam also. Chandobir Vividai Pritake. Chandas is the Vedas themselves. They have also spoken of, they have also dealt with, they are also dealing with this two tattvas, that is Kshetram and Kshetrajna. Brahma Sutra Padeshcheva. This Brahma Sutra even though the word is like very, very popularly known to us, it is not the popular Brahma Sutra, but then Bhagavad Pada gives a different interpretation to that. Padeshchaiva, Hetumadbhir Vinishitahi. Hetumat is these statements in the Upanishads about Atman and Anatman and all that, they are the kind of logic is embedded in them. So this logic cannot be separated at all from the teaching. So that's why Hetumadbhihi Vinishitahi. Hetu is reasoning. So going into the Bhashyam, Rishibhihi Vasishtadibhihi. So who are the rishis? Vasishta, etc. Bahuda, Bahuprakaram. So Vasishta and all that, they have all stated these things in the Smritis and all that. Like, for example, Yoga Vasishta itself is a very popular one. And Vyasam Vasishta Navtaram. So there also Vasishta Tattvam is there, Vasishta Smriti is there. So Vasishta, etc. So many other rishis are there. They have spoken about this, like Manu, for example. They have all spoken about this Atman and Anatman. Chandobihi, Chandamti, Rigadini, Taihi, Chandobihi, Vividaihi, Nana Bhavaihi, Nana Prakaraihi, Pritake, Vivekataha, Gitam. Chandas is actually Veda, Chandamsi. But the Vedas are Rigadini. That is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. So these four classes constitute the Veda corpus. Taihi, Chandobihi, Vividaihi, Nana Bhavaihi, Nana Prakaraihi. These Vedas also have spoken about this Kshetrajna and Kshetram in so many ways. Kincha, Bahus, Brahmasutra Padeshcha. So here now comes Bhagavad Pada's interpretation of this word. Brahmasutra Padeshcha, Eva Brahmanaha Suchakani. So Brahma Sutra, there are two words in that compound word Brahma Sutra, there are two words, Brahma and Sutra. So Brahma is actually this Brahman alone, there is no doubt about it. The popular Brahman is Tattvam Brahman. Sutra, this word Sutra is given the meaning Suchaka, that is that which is indicating. Even in the Brahma Sutras also, that Sutra word indicates the term or the sense of indicating. Even though the word Sutra has also the meaning that it is a string, this meaning also is there for that. So Suchakani, Vakyani, Brahma Sutrani. So those statements that indicate Brahman are called Brahma Sutram. So Brahma Sutrani, Taihi Padyate, Gamyate, Nyayate iti, Tani Padani Uchante. So Brahma Sutra Pada is the word. So words which are indicating Brahman are also talking about this Kshetram and Kshetrajna. That's what is the meaning of that term. Uchante Tairevacha Kshetra Kshetrajna Yathatmyam Gitam. So through these words, the true nature of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna have been sung. Sung is the metaphorical way of stating that they have been stated or spoken of elaborately. Iti Anvartate. Then so Yushibihi Bahuda Gitam, Chandobihi Vividai Pratak Gitam, Brahmasutra Padeshcha Gitam. So that's how it is to be. This sloka has to be, that Anvaya is to be done this way. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Gitamiti Anvartate. So he is now giving an example of Brahma Sutra Padani. Upasita in the Bhagavad Upanishad. It's a very, very elaborate section in the Upanishad, and the Bhashyam also is extremely interesting. Upasita. So that Brahman has to be contemplated upon as one's Atma. Atma ite upasita is called Vidya Sutra. And then there is Avidya Sutram also, that is also there. There it is whoever thinks that he is different from Brahman and meditates on Brahman, thinking that he is different and Brahman is different, he is ignorant. So that is the Anyoso Anyohamiti Yo Veda Sa Nasa Veda. So Anyoso Anyohamiti Nasa Veda, so that is also in the Brihadaranyaka itself, and that is called Avidya Sutra. Then Brahma Sutra Padehi Atma Jnayate Hetubihi. So Hetubihi Yukti Yuktaihi Vinishchitaihi Nissamshaya Rupaihi Nishchita Pratyayotpadakaihi Ityartaha. So Hetumadbihi. So Hetumadbihi is the one. So whenever we employ reasoning, that the purpose of employing reasoning is to get clarity. Without all the doubts can be set at rest, and reasoning is employed. That is what he says here. Vinishchitaihi, yukti yuktaihi, vinishchitaihi, nisramshaya rupaihi, nishchita pratyaya padakaihi ityartaha. So these Brahma Sutra padas and all that, they give us the knowledge, give us a very firm knowledge that is doubtless, free from all doubts and misconceptions. That kind of a knowledge about Brahman is given by these Brahma Sutra padas and all that, because it involves hetu. That is why even in the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, Shravanam is knowing about the Atman, Brahman, Jagat and all that. Then Mananam is the stage where what all doubts can arise after hearing about Atman, Brahman and all that, they will be settled by use of the yuktis. So hetu tarkatascha mananam. Tarka is this hetu again, logic. So along with the help of tarka, one has to do mananam so that all doubts will be set at rest, and that doubt-free, error-free jnanam which has been distilled jnanam, that has to be taken up for nididhyasanam for a length of time. So this is how the scheme is. Then the next shloka is Stutya Abhimukhi Bhutaya Arjunaya Aha Bhagavan. So by this Stuti, Bhagavad Pada calls this shloka is Stuti, Rishibir Bhagavad Gita, that it is a kind of eulogizing this teaching by saying that this teaching is so exalted, it has been given, it has come out from rishis, it has been stated by the Vedas and all that, and it is so very well stated with reasoning and all that. So naturally, this is something very exalted, and you have to listen to it very, very carefully, paying all attention, all focus here. Stutya Abhimukhi Bhutaya Arjunaya Aha Bhagavan. So now, after hearing this Stuti, Arjuna is all ears now. So he is Abhimukha Bhuta. So he has become Abhimukhya. His full focus is now available for Bhagavan. And now Bhagavan initiates this teaching, discussion. Mahabhutan Karo Buddhir Abhyaktamevacha Indriyani Dashaikancha Panchacha Indriya Gocharaha. This shloka, along with the next one, is a twin. That's the next one is a twin shloka. Icha Dvesha Sukham Dukkam Sanghatash Chetana Dhritihi Etat Kshetram Samasena Savikaram Udahritam. So Kshetram has been stated in two shlokas, that too in not 4 lines, but 3 lines, 1.5 shlokas. The whole of Kshetram has been encapsulated in a capsule form. This whole of Kshetra, that whole of Kshetra is nothing but the whole of the creation. The entire creation has been encapsulated in these 3 lines. So we will take up the Bhashyam in the next class. Now we will end this session here. Shastram Sharira Mimamsa Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharyaha Santume Janma Janmani Yavinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidhushekara Bharati Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarvakshetreshu Bharata Iti Kshetrajnyor Jnanam Yatta Jnanam Matam Mama Narayana Paro Vyakta Dandam Avyakta Sambhavam Andasyantasthi Me Lokaha Saptadvipa Cha Medini Om Sat